guys, and welcome back. So today's video is actually going to be the start of a little bit of a challenge for myself. So the last little while I've been feeling really uninterested in drawing. I don't like it when I'm drawing, and I just feel like what I've been drawing is just so inconsequential. Like it doesn't really have any purpose or meaning, and it's not really interesting to me in a way that it feels like I'm actually producing something that I'm happy with. So my hopeful combatant for this is I want to do a challenge. I want something where I'm required to draw something under certain parameters for a certain amount of time. And I think that this will really help me because it's focusing on something that I know that I love doing, but it also has enough that I am going to be able to really experiment and have fun trying out new things and thinking of new design elements. So that's really what I want to get out of this, is I want to have certain requirements that I have to do every time, and because that's taken care of and I already know what basically I'm drawing, I can focus on the parts that I think will really help me feel happy with drawing and enjoy the process of drawing again. So what my challenge is for myself is I just want to do a magical girl character every day for at least till the end of this month. So that's 10 or 11 days left of this month, and that's because Inktober will start then in October, and then I'll have a daily challenge then. So I might start this challenge up again after October or continue it during October. I'm not sure yet. But basically, yeah, I want to draw a magical girl character every day. So that's kind of like a superhero type character, and you'll see that a lot in like anime. So like Sailor Moon is magical girl, and there's a bunch of them right now. And yeah, there's just a lot of design decisions that I think would be really cool to think through, because I can have a theme for each character that I have to really make sure that her whole character is coming back to that one theme. And I think that that's something that I've always loved doing. I've loved figuring out the details and how I can make sure that as a character they stand together and all those details reinforce what I'm trying to show. So that's something that I know that I love. And I tend to have a little bit of an easier time drawing girls. It just comes a little bit more naturally because I think that I've drawn more of them. So because that is kind of where I'm starting off, it means that when I'm drawing each day, it's a little bit easier to get into it and start working on it rather than getting hung up with trying to think of what the subject matter is and trying to make sure that I have reference for something, because I'm a little bit rusty at drawing men in the same way. So having those two requirements will be really helpful, I think. And yeah, it's really exciting and inspiring for me to think about all these like cool powers that I want to show in their designs and new coloring techniques that I'm really actually very excited about implementing and figuring out. But we can actually talk about this one a little bit more specifically. So when I started drawing her, I actually didn't have I didn't have any idea at all of what I wanted for her, like power or her personality. I wasn't really sure what her theme was going to be when I started sketching her out. And then I started kind of revolving around fire, but less of like an elemental fire and more like, I'm not sure, kind of like I had these like ideas of these wicks. So that's what this like rope around her waist and it's flowing around her. I kind of got the idea that it was like a wick. And so she's more like a small flame, like kind of like a man-made fire. So I don't know. I actually really like it. I think it's a little bit different of a take. I wish that I had kind of come to that idea a little bit sooner, because I think that there were a few details that I could have reinforced into that a little bit more. But overall, I feel pretty happy with how she looks and how the details come together. So I do have like the cutout in her dress is shaped like a little flame, and there's just these like repetitions where you can see that same kind of shape throughout her that really connects her as a character and makes it really come together as a good character design. I would definitely say that that's probably one of my all-time favorite things to do, is designing a character and figuring out what details I can kind of echo throughout the piece so that they look like they are one cohesive character. That I love doing that. It's kind of like this really interesting puzzle that I get to solve and to find a way to make sure that everything reinforces what I'm trying to show. So for her, I had this, I guess it's kind of herringbone a little bit, but it's where one line was coming and then another would start in the middle of that line, and they would just kind of work their way down. So I had that inside of the wicks that make that the rope line work, and then I had it on her tights, and I think I had it in a few other places. And putting details like that throughout your character really makes them look like a good solid design, because it looks like it's well thought out, like you intended for each part to kind of be a puzzle piece that comes together as that character. I definitely think that working on this piece today, well, yesterday, actually really made me happy, because it made me feel excited about actually drawing her. It felt purposeful because it was something that's I'm going to actively be working on. I'm going to do more of these, and there's going to be a group of these magical girl character designs that I've created, and I'm going to put those out there and people are going to see it, and it felt a lot more meaningful for me, and I was able to really love drawing this piece, and I was really happy with that and excited about it. But it took me 5 hours and 10 minutes to do this piece, which I am very happy with for this piece, but for an everyday challenge, I'm going to have to be able to be a little bit more selective as far as which ones I'm going to let myself finish and which ones I'm going to be a little bit more loosey and sketched and a little bit more on the side of the conceptual design rather than a finished piece, because I actually do have other pieces that I should and need to be working on and finishing, but I'm glad that I'm able to really delve into one and love that, because I know that there are going to be days where I don't want to think about anything else, and I can just sit down and draw a magical girl and complete it and make it something that I'm really proud of. So yeah, I mean, this whole thing, just after doing this one, I feel really hopeful and excited about all the new design elements that I can figure out and the new characters and different ways that I can show that. I'm also really excited about thinking about different body types and how I can show that, and just a huge variety of ways to show it, and different coloring techniques. That's a big thing that I'm excited about, because these are small pieces with with an already design or an already figured out purpose and concept, so that when I'm getting into that, I can really just experiment with the coloring. So this one, the flame one, I actually ended up doing a lot more soft blending in of things than I'm used to, and I'm really happy with that. It's definitely a path that I'd like to experiment a lot more with. And because I'm doing these magical girls, it's really a great setup as far as where I can try this out, something that's a little bit more blended or has more of an atmospheric effect. But yeah, I am just so excited to be thinking about new like magical powers and themes to do for each new character, because I'd really like to think of really unique stuff that I can really delve into finding a way to conceptualize into a character design like this. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. If any of you guys have any suggestions for magical girl powers or themes that you'd like to see, I would love to hear it, because it would be really fun, I think, to be able to work off of some of your guys' ideas. But yeah, that's probably the thing that I'm most excited about, is just thinking about each day I get to really experiment figuring out a new design. I love that. I love working on character design. So I'm feeling really good and hopeful about the future piece. I think definitely my all-time favorite step for this piece, and it usually is my favorite step, but I loved creating all the lighting sources in this piece, because that really was when it all came together and it had that really warm glow that I wanted. Because as I was working on this, I was realizing that I wanted her to be more of a flame kind of character. So not really like fire, like violent or angry. I wanted it to be more warm and controlled and kind of man-made, if that sort of makes sense. So when I could come in and start adding this like hazy glow around the fire and make sure that it was reflecting in her face, and I think probably one of my favorite details was going in and making her hand really like a pink warm, so that it looks like it's really like glowing from the inside of her hands. That was probably my favorite part, but it was coming together and making sure that all the glowing effects really just nailed that really warm tone that I wanted for this piece. But that is pretty much it for this piece. Like I said, I feel really good about working on this. I feel excited about the future ones, and hopefully at the end of this month, after I've done 10 or 11 of these, I will feel a lot more refreshed as far as working on other stuff, because this is so like laser pointed. I feel like I don't have to like stress about a lot of the other things that I think are are holding me back from enjoying art in the same way. So being able to like kind of clear that out and just really simplify what I'm working on and making sure that it's just I know what I'm working on today and I get to focus on the things that I love doing and really get back into that and discovering what I do love about it and why. And yeah, I feel really good about this. I feel excited about getting back into more character design oriented stuff. So yeah, she is at my shop as usual. I'm really happy with this one, so I'm excited to have her as a print and add that to my print collection. But yeah, there will be a link right below me where you can click on that and check out the listing for her and for all my other stuff. I also have lots of buttons and stuff there too, so I might even make her a button. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, you can go ahead and check that out right below me. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you at my next video, which should be tomorrow because this is a daily challenge. So anyways, I will see you then. Bye.